Pensaba que contigo iba a envejecer. En otra vida, en otro mundo podrá ser. En esta solo queda irme un día y solamente verte en el atardecer. Si me ven solo y triste, no me hablen. Si me ven solo y triste, soy culpable. La vida es una fiesta que un día termina. Y fuiste tú mi baile inolvidable. So, what that was Baile Inolvidable by Bad Bunny, Benito Bull, okay? And so today, I'm gonna be talking about this because, yeah, hold on, I need to look at my webcam when I'm speaking because this is a very serious topic, and I'm just it's partially my fault for just being chronically online and spending too much time looking at social media and all that, but I've just been seeing way too much vitriol and division about this, and I've been watching a lot of videos and reading a lot of takes about everything, and I just need to rant because this is just affecting like my life all the time, and I just need to be more vocal in general about stuff that I care about, and I have a platform to do it, so I'm gonna do it because it just pisses me off so much why people are saying, oh, he's not American, blah blah blah. He was scared. He didn't want to do a tour in America because of ICE, and but he's a sellout because he's doing the Super Bowl. That shows me his values, blah blah blah. It's like, bro, he didn't like. Of course, he's gonna accept the Super Bowl offer because then he can really voice his opinions and views about stuff going on in the world, and many people will see it, and I'm glad many people saw it because people are showing their true colors as to just how incredibly ignorant and hateful and just flat out racist they are because it's so frustrating, it's so annoying. I'm going to be going on a lot of tangents, but I hopefully will be able to talk about everything that I want to in a concise manner in like less than 20 minutes or so. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how long this video ends up being. But I'm taking a sociology class right now called History and Significance of Race in America, I believe. Or History and Significance of Race and Diversity in America. It's a long title, and it sounds like, oh, that's just a DEI class, blah, 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 whatever. But no, it's actually really important, and I really like my professor. I might be biased because he's Mexican, grew up on the Texas and Mexico border. He's Tex-Mex, I guess he's called himself, but he just refers to himself as Mexican most of the time, or American, whatever. He calls himself Mexican over here in Japan. And it's funny, he's told me that he's seen more Mexican flags here in the past few years that he's lived here than, I think he's lived here for a few years, than in America because of all the shit going on with ICE. And it's so frustrating. It's really, I'm at my wit's end, and this whole argument is so stupid, and I'm just adding fuel to the fire because it's literally it's a diversion once again to keep us distracted from what really matters. Politicians names continuously coming out of over 3 million files, coded language among the elites of Pizzagate, we'll just say, and cheese pizza and all that. And it's funny because I literally watch Predator catching videos like Gideon, Skeeter Jean, Oma, Schlepp, all those good guys, and they literally, at least Gideon refers to it as cheese pizza commonly, and calling them PDF files, and it's just everything is just too on the nose, and I've just I've had a lot of thoughts. I always have a lot of thoughts running through my head as humans do, but particularly in the last couple days, this fallout has just been insane. I just don't understand. Now, personally, I mean, shit, if I were that famous, like, and even if I'm not LGBTQ, like, I might wear a dress on stage singing and stuff, you know what I'm saying? If I'm really that confident in myself, I think that's more masculine, being able to do that than saying, "Oh, that's so gay and feminine and we should have real men performing at the Super Bowl, blah blah blah." And then we got Turning Point USA's freaking joke of a freaking video that is Kid Rock and all these lame ass sounding Christian rock and all hail America, yeah, let's go. The national anthem with the electric guitar is just, it's such a joke. Like, there is an audience for that, of course, which is, country redneck people, and I'm not trying to be racist towards white people. I love white people, of course, except when they're racist. I love all people. Um, so I love me a good redneck, whatever, from the South, the Southern accent, cowboys, all that good stuff. But like, why do you gotta be like, oh, but fuck black people though, and Mexicans coming across the border and all that, and it's annoying. I get there is a real issue, with um the Asian and Mexican population in America, I think, is rapidly growing. A couple years ago in U.S. government class I was taking, AP, by the way. Um, Shout out Miss Poole, you were a real one for real, one of my favorite teachers. But we learned that the Mexican population in the U.S. was the fastest growing of other races, I'm pretty sure. And race is a political category, by the way. I don't see color, legitimately. So if any, snow bunnies or chocolate bunnies or anyone wants to hit me up, that's cool, like, come slide. But I'm gonna have to unfollow. I already unfollowed freaking Brett Cooper, and I'm gonna have to unfollow, like, at least a handful or two of other YouTubers and influencers on my page, because I usually don't. I usually keep, like, it's hard to identify exactly where I'm at on the political spectrum. I see stuff on the left and the right, whatever, but usually I don't like labeling myself as any of that because it's all bullshit. But, um, like, so I try to listen to leftist and right wing views, to keep a good balance, a healthy mix, keep my eyes and ears open, and trust what I perceive in day to day life. But it's just this stuff I'm seeing it just hits way too close to home because I'm Puerto Rican and Puertorriqueño, soy boricua. But I don't say it too often because it's not really that important at the end of the day. Race is a political category. I wasn't born there, so I really don't have ties other than I've been there a few times. I have family. I have cousins and an aunt living out there still, and probably some more extended family. But I wasn't born there. I was born in Nueva York, so Nueva York, as Bad Bunny spells it. So I can't really comment too much, but I'm still 50%, maybe about, maybe less, Puerto Rican. So my mom has been telling me, oh, I'm so tired at work, and she literally works for the government, for the military, whatever. These people who should have or should be traveling the world or have family members traveling and seeing all sorts of different perspectives get so focused in and narrowed down on one perspective and just what they see in life, and it's frustrating. They're being racist, probably. I didn't even have to ask. I'm gonna pull up the text right now, but I didn't have to ask. She said, let's see. Noel, ¿cómo te fue? Like, how's it going? How are you? I said, swag, and you? Me quedo cabrón. And I literally learned that from Bad Bunny. I didn't really listen to Bad Bunny much before this, but I have my friend, shout out Isamu. He's Costa Rican, which is closer to Panama, but his favorite is Bad Bunny. He's gonna see him in concert. And so I picked up some slang. I said, I think the correct way is me queda, cabrón. Like I'm staying chill, I'm staying swag, staying cool. But I said me quedo, cabrón, which I think would be past tense. But I used o because I thought it would be masculine. Spanish is complicated for me. I don't even know it, which is sad. And that's why I can't fully identify with being Puerto Rican and Hispanic, Latino, whatever, because I can understand it, but I didn't really practice and learn how to speak it growing up. And I studied French in high school, so I studied French for 5 years, eighth grade as well, and then now I'm learning Japanese. So I just always constantly feel like a traitor to my own people because I just don't have the same roots and origins. And even she didn't know, I think, or she said, "What is it?" So she either didn't know what I was saying, or she knew and was trying to get me to explain, so she knew that I knew. And I said, "Like pimpin'," and she said, "Oh my." And then she answered, when I asked her how she's doing, she said, "Good, feeling defeated." I said, "Aw, why? That's not good. At work and all the BS, people talk and being racist. Ugh, seriously, just ignore them haters. I know, I'm just tired." ¿Te dormiste? Nah, I went to jujitsu. And this morning she texted me, "Te amo." I said, "Mas, I love you. If you want to talk, I'm here." But yeah, it's unfortunate. My mom has been here for, let's see, 20 plus years, maybe 30, almost 30. Um and um it's sad. She's American. She's always been American. My grandma too they've always been American. I have an aunt who lives in New York, aunt who lives in Puerto Rican. My mom, wait, my aunt lives in Puerto Rico and she is Puerto Rican. And that's my oldest aunt. And then my mom is the youngest and she lives in, the DMV area. I'm not gonna dox her exactly, but oh, it's all just so much. It's so overwhelming, and this is nice. This is therapeutic for me because I'm just getting to rant and talk about the BS that I see. And so, who else? My sister. I had a good talk with her. I don't remember exactly what we talked about. It wasn't as negative as that, but it's just, it's so annoying. She was just complaining to me about her job. She was recommending me some K-pop songs. Here we go, here we go. So Monday at 12:30 p.m. for me, I believe, so around afternoon. So around midnight for her, whenever the Super Bowl was playing, I guess, when Bad Bunny was coming on. She said, "I love you." "Me too. You okay?" She said, "Hi," which is perfectly legal, as long as you're above 21 in the state where she's in. So, and then she sent me a picture of her husband and her dog Dune, just happy Bad Bunny Super Bowl. And then I sent her uh, the New York Times Instagram post, like talking about the Bad Bunny Super Bowl for real, and the Seahawks one, which I was also happy about because back in 2015 they lost to the Patriots, and I think that's the last time they played them in the Super Bowl. I looked it up, so they got their revenge. And we used to live in Seattle, so my family's kind of residual Seahawks fans, but none of us even like football, American football at least. For real, I was so happy. Good Super Bowl for real. Nice. What was the final score? I'm gonna watch his halftime performance in a sec also. It was like 29-13. It was so good. A lot of his songs were cut short, but because he had every song from DTMF. She said DMTF, but sheesh, hell yeah. And then we talked, and then after that, that's when she sent me K-pop recs, but from my childhood, of course. So, and I listened to a bunch of songs, and they were bringing back memories of hanging out with her and stuff, and it was chill. It's awesome. But what's not awesome is all this stuff, and I'm so sick of it. I I can't take it anymore. But something that gave me hope was this morning, around a couple hours ago, I joined a TikTok live of some New Yorican that I follow on TikTok that I think my dad shared her account with me, or I followed her in another live or something. But she was DJing and we were talking about the Benito Bowl and how people were playing football at his concert, and which is a funny joke to me. And I also learned that I think Daddy Yankee is like he retired and then but he's back now and he's making Christian music, but it still hits. So that's cool. But I was just having a good time in that live, and I was happy because I was also born in New York and I'm half Puerto Rican, so that's pretty lit. But yeah, my dad's Colombian, so I haven't talked to him about this, but his birthday is tomorrow. So I'm gonna wish him a happy birthday at midnight. It'll still be around midday for him, February 11th, but which is not his birthday yet, but I think he'll be happy either way. I want to do it at midnight so I don't forget, because I won't forget today, because I'll still be awake unless I take a nap, but whatever. At this point, I'm not even talking about this stuff anymore. But yeah, like I follow a funny white dude named Jack Morgan on YouTube, and he's an older guy. He's like 35, 40 or something, but he looks older cuz I don't know, whatever. But I clicked on his video because I watch him every once in a while for he just talks about the economy, the state of the world, all of that. And it's good to have different perspectives, of course. You don't want to be in an echo chamber. And I literally, the title and thumbnail of his video, and then like the first sentence he said when I clicked on it was just, yep, I'm done. I'm seriously considering unsubscribing right now. But, the thing is, this is all gonna blow over in a few more days, in a week or two, and we're all gonna forget and not talk about it anymore. It's not gonna be important, but I think it really is important, like even if Bad Bunny doesn't speak for all Latinx people, as the new term is, or Latinos or Latinas, then but he's still saying important stuff, bringing attention, talking about in his music, and the message of DTMF, of those songs, the most popular, like the songs that I like in that album, are really beautiful and deep. I literally told Isamu, my Costa Rican friend, that I started crying to the title track of the album because there's just literally one or two lines where he says jugando un domino con mi grandpa, abuelo, and it literally like I have memories of my childhood in Washington State when my grandma lived with us for a while and we would play dominoes and like she's the only person I ever played it with the most. I haven't really played it since then, and she would do these word search puzzles all the time, and we would like I think we shared a room at one point, and we shared a bunk bed. And wow, like I didn't really think about that before, but and she would use this recliner. Well, I have thought about it before, just not in a long time. She used this recliner in the room, and I think we even brought it to Maryland when we moved over, but we got rid of it a few years ago because it was like old and breaking down. But she would use this recliner, and I think one time I remember either I fell asleep in it or she was sleeping in it when I came into my room. I remember this one time, which I don't think I've ever told anyone. I saw my grandma butt naked because she was coming out of the shower and she didn't have her towel fully around, and like what's it called? I don't think she knew I was in the room, but yeah, it was bad. And sorry, mom, but I also think I've seen my mom butt ass naked before too, coming out the shower, but I don't even remember. Whatever. I was a young kid, just wrong place, wrong time. I'm not reminiscing. These are trauma memories that are coming back to me now. But so now you all know. Whoever watches this video in the future, I've seen my mom, my grandma naked, not on purpose, of course, not being a creep, but just unfortunately. Latina women are very comfortable in their skin for the most part. So yeah, it's just so like literally the message, and it's oh, that's another thing I wanted to talk about is people are like, oh, we didn't understand what he's saying. Bro, literally every other country in the world is accommodating to English speakers and Americans whenever they travel to their countries or people travel to America, whether they're immigrating there or whatever. They have to learn English. Why can't Americans at least learn Spanish? And it's literally not even that hard. I mean, I say it's not that hard, but I haven't really put that much effort into learning it all my life. I grew up with it, and so it comes a little more natural to me when I learn new words and phrases and grammar or whatever. But put some goddamn effort. You're required in high school, at least where I graduated from, to take at least 2 years of a language class. Like, and you should keep learning a language. I'm still learning a language now. I'm 20. I've already graduated high school. It's harder. It's much harder because it's a whole different freaking system, alphabet system, all that. And it's still, it helps with your memory, it helps with cognitive functions, and if you want to learn other languages in the future, at least for a trip, like a few words, they'll be easier to remember at least a little bit. So it's very worth it for Americans. They should be learning probably Spanish or at least one other language that they pick, since when they're young. Probably just Spanish since, we're right next to Mexico and whatever. And then we'd have better relations. We could figure out shit with the cartel, whatever, down the line. I don't know all the full extent of the cartel and stuff, but I'm sure the government in Mexico is in bed with them. So I'm sure by default we're in bed with them. But whatever, collusion, all that fun jazz. There's it's funny, there's a quote in Lies of P, the Souls-like game I'm playing, and Lady Antonia says, "People have no idea the secrets buried in Krat, the fictional world, and people have no idea the secrets buried in this world, in our reality that we have some dictation and some control over, you know." We should at least be speaking about these things and keeping an open mind, you know. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure Japanese and Chinese from like elementary, primary school have to learn English, are forced. And I know that the curriculums probably aren't the best, but at least they're getting exposure. And Americans are hella dumb, bro. Like, we can't even read our own language anymore, the new generation's growing up. So it's just like, it's frustrating. It's super frustrating. And I can't even fully be mad because I understand on some level because, learning a language is hard, of course. Spanish is hard. I still don't really fully know it, but I can, understand and maybe carry a basic conversation. But suffice it to say that this is all some bullshit going down right now, and I just felt compelled to talk about it because I feel I do have a connection and a responsibility to talk about it, and I haven't been as vocal as I should be about issues I care about in the past, and maybe, that'll help me grow more of a platform, and I think that's, what a lot of influencers, I'm also taking media classes, of course, because that's my major, is communications, but I forgot where I was going with that. But, media literacy is important in general, and we should be talking about these things, critically thinking, forming our own opinions, and that's why influencers with big personalities can easily garner and maintain a following, mostly because of their personalities, not even political ideologies. Uh, and then, once you gain that momentum, you kind of it's hard to lose it unless you do or say some fucked up shit. But anyway, I think I've basically said everything I needed to. But, even if you don't agree with me, I get that there was some aspects of the show that weren't perfect, like there is vulgar messaging in his music and there were there was those girls shaking ass, but how is that any different from, mainstream hip hop culture or, whatever, like, yeah. But anyway, I don't really know what else to say at this point. So I appreciate y'all if you made it this far and for listening, clicking on at all, and like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and share with other people. I'd like to get my voice out there a bit, and I think what I say can do some good in the world. But yeah, I don't like how people are, oh, I didn't even Kid Rock, isn't he like apparently a pedophile or whatever? Or yeah, he literally, I saw lyrics and I don't think they're fake, but I didn't really fully confirm. But I corroborated with a couple social media sources that he said like something about I need them to be underage girls. Statutory is mandatory, which is just wild. And people are either looking past that or haven't heard that, and that just goes to show how echo chambers form and how people aren't always or ever going to get the full side of a story. And the there's more than two positions in an argument. You can always be neutral or just choose not to engage, and that's what a lot of people do. I told my mom to ignore those people at work, and that's already what she has been doing for a long time, probably, because I know that's what my sister, my brother, and I have to do, where we just choose not to engage. And sometimes I think there are things worth fighting for, despite the ramifications. But I'm not advocating for violence necessarily, but whatever. Anyway, so that's going to be it now. So I appreciate y'all. Thank you. And just try to be smart and carry nuance into your life. I know you already probably do make an effort because we're all humans and we all have some common functioning, but honestly, I don't know anymore, actually. I'm losing faith. So, well, maybe I've already lost my faith. But stay frosty, everybody. Peace.